So here's my craft I'm making today using that dyed fabric I did the other day. So I have some homespun, some dowels from the Dollar Tree, and a bed spring. And as you can see, I've cut them in circles along with the centerpiece. And you can cut these any size circle you want, depending on how big a flower you want. And I'm attaching the homespun to the center of the Osnaburger with just a running stitch. I wanted to make these look kind of primitive. I'm sorry guys, I was doing the best I could to hold it up there so you could see what I was doing. And I'm using embroidery floss to attach these because I wanted you to be able to see that stitching from the front. And I'm just tying it off in a knot. Clip that off. So now I'm going to attach my two pieces together, and I'm going to turn it over. And the reason I'm turning it over is because I'm going to use that stitching as my guide where I want to glue my flower down. You don't want to glue the whole thing together. You only want that center part of the flower glued. And you'll see why in a little bit. And I'm going to do that to all three of them. And then I wanted that center one frayed, so I just have my little gator sander and I'm fraying the edges of the fabric. Now I did another video using a bed spring using the Dollar Tree wood flowers that they had a while back, and I thought I would do this to show you another option. If you didn't have those, you could make your own. Now I started to stuff that center portion of my flower and put my dowel in there because the dowel is going to be the stem of your flower. And I realized I forgot a step, so you're going to see me pull it all out. So, and then this is what I forgot to do. You need to cut in towards the homespun. And I'm spacing mine about, maybe a ½ inch or an inch. You could do whatever you want, however wide you want your petals, because that's what you're creating, is the petal of the flower. And you just cut in towards, don't cut the homespun or your center fabric that you have in the center. Just cut just up to it. And I'm going to do that to all three flowers. And now I'm going to stuff them and add my dowel. And then get that, finish gluing that together. And there's one of them, and I'll do all three of them like that. I'm just going to kind of crinkle the edges, kind of separate them. And you could do these any color you would like. You could do them for seasonal, for Christmas, spring. You could do them to fit whatever color decor you have. Just have fun with it. And like I said, you can make them as big or as little as you'd like. So this is my last one. So and there's my bed spring. And you wouldn't have to use a bed spring. You could use a can, a milk, a mason jar, whatever you have on hand. You could make this and make these flowers and put them in to make a little floral arrangement. You wouldn't even have to put them on the stick. You could just make them for little adobo fillers. So I have a piece of green homespun that I'm cutting and just tying onto the dowel towards the top of the flower. That's going to be our leaves. And I got this homespun at Hobby Lobby, along with the Osnaburger, which is the fabric that is the yellow fabric that I dyed with the paint. And then the brown, I think I got at Jubilee Fabrics. But now I'm tucking them all three in my spring. So now I'm going to make a bow and tie it to the front. I'm going to tie it onto the spring. I'm not going to glue it. Well, I'm going to tie it on there so it'll come off, but you'll see I do put just a little dot of glue on there to kind of hold the bow, but you'll be able to take it off. That way, if you wanted to create it as a seasonal piece, you can take your bow off and change it out also. So I left those strings long so I could tie them onto the top of the spring there. And like I said, I do wind up just putting a little dot of glue. It was still a little loose, so I just put a little dot of glue just to kind of hold it, but you'd still be able to remove it. And I'm just going to kind of trim it just a little so you don't have all the strings hanging down inside. You'll still be able to take it off. So kind of tucking those in there. And like I said, you wouldn't have to use a bed spring. If you have a jar, a rusty can, whatever you have on hand. This would be a fun piece to make. I just wanted to be able to show you what you can do with your paint dyed fabric. So now I have a tag, and I'm going to stamp the word fall on it and add it to the bow. Little piece of jute. And I did rough the edges of the tag up, and then I'm going to crinkle it and add some wax to it. I'm going to grab my buttons so I can add a button. So I'm just going to glue the tag to the center. And then I'll look for a button and add a button. But here it is, just a fun little piece to add to your decor. This is Robin with Zimmies Simple Designs. Thank you for watching.